All right, y'all, out here in the garage after the holidays. Ain't been doing much with the emblems. However, I have been working on getting some of these parts cleaned up. I made some repairs to the rings here. Got them re-copper coated and nickel plated. I'm gonna have to give them another coat of nickel when my new anodes arrive. My bath had gotten contaminated, so I couldn't finish. So that's why the emblems are on hold. I made a few repairs to these. The holes here on the bottoms have been widened out pretty bad. I don't know if I got any pictures of that, but let's see if you can see in here. Before plating, I hammered out a little thin piece of copper, about foil thick, and soldered it on there to cover the old hole. Ground it down smooth, re-drilled the hole. I had to reattach this clip here. It had come loose. So redid that. And basically hammered out a bunch of little wrinkles and creases, and I think I copper plated it about 3 times and sanded it to get it as smooth as it is. There's still some little dips and imperfections in here. But all in all, it's looking a whole lot better. The other one was in a whole lot worse shape. You can see in here where I had to fill with some solder, where these, I'd showed some cracks and splits the ring had before. This whole side was all wrinkled up. And I got all those little wrinkles out and filled with just copper plating. I didn't use any of the solder on this side. It doesn't take the plating too well, and you can see here where I burned through when I was polishing the copper, and then I went to do the nickel plating. It ate through it a little bit. I'd also patched up this hole here with another thin piece of copper and plated over it. So when my new anodes arrive, these are going to get another coat of nickel before I do a final polish. This one's probably going to go back in the copper bath, so I can see if I can get that little blemish there covered up. All in all, they look a whole lot better than they did before, and a whole lot more sturdy shape. I've been working on cleaning up these the tailgate hinges to get them ready for nickel plating. I polished these 2 straps up. The mounts for them I just got out of the vibratory tumbler here. It actually works pretty good with those little pyramids for cleaning these parts up. I'd also picked up one of these portable sandblasters while I was at Harbor Freight, and I have to say that thing's just about useless. Says compatible with 1 horsepower or larger compressors. Mine's 1.8. And all it really does is make a big mess. I mean, it kind of removes a little bit of soft paint, but honestly, I'd already had these parts soaking in muriatic acid, and they went from there into a bath of washing soda. So the paint and rust that's on here is actually pretty darn loose already, and you could flake it off with your fingernail and it still didn't want to remove it. So that's a big waste of money there. It just clogs and doesn't want to spray. That vibratory tumbler does work pretty good though. I put the chain from the spare tire mount in there. It was all rusted up, and you can actually see on some of these links, like right here, where they're actually folded and hot welded together. You can see it on every link, so that's kind of neat. I got the I guess the tightening mechanism for it all freed up, loosened up, cleaned up, and I got it nickel plated and polished up. It's not really shiny, it was quite pitted, but it was also bent. I got it straightened out, but it threads nice and easy now. So that'll be ready to go. Of course, I gotta get the tire cage all straightened out. Still have that tank hanging. I'm working on the getting one of the solid lines cleaned up for it. I checked it to make sure there weren't any rust pits going all the way through, and it still holds pressure, so I cleaned it up with the wire wheel, sanded it really good, and I put some rust to primer converter on it, and then I just gave it now a fresh coat of primer. And that's where I'm at so far this week. Just been cleaning up parts. I got plenty more over there to do once I get this sandblaster mess cleaned up. Ugh. To think they asked if I wanted to buy the extended warranty on a plastic bucket. And that's all this really is. Just a plastic bucket with a hose. What a waste. Glad it wasn't expensive. Even I'd start off with my regulator for my spray gun there so I could kind of control the pressure, and it just wouldn't spray. Keeps getting clogged. I made sure my compressor was drained and dry so there's no water in the lines. It just sucks. It's garbage. So if you're thinking about it, don't do it. That vibratory tumbler does a way better job. That's what they clean these up. This is just from being in there. These look just as nasty as those pieces over there. Let them shake around in there for a couple hours and a little dip in the bucket there. I haven't sanded these yet or done any polishing on them. But I will. I'll get the buffing wheel after these. After I do a little sanding and smooth them out. They do have a little part number here on the back, or at least a data manufacturer. 5833 0. Don't really know what that means. I'm pretty sure 58's the year, but I don't know. I don't think these hinges were originally intended for the way they were laid out on the truck. I think these hinges may have been for a dump truck bed, maybe, or door strap hinges for like a box truck. Either way, they're on there, so I'm going to clean them up. I'm going to nickel plate them so they don't get all rusty again. I'd rather have all these hardware pieces nickel plated than paint them back to black again. Getting these cleaned up to the point at which they'll be smooth on the outsides is going to be kind of fun. They're really, really pitted. I have one over here I've been tinkering around with using the belt sander. Just sending it up on here with a magnet and letting it its own weight kind of grind it smooth, and that's working okay. It'll get everything but these corners here, but the corners aren't really too badly pitted, and I'm not worried about getting the inside really smooth because you won't be able to see that. As long as I can get this outside nice and smooth, when I plate these with the nickel plating, they'll look really nice. But that's that. Garage is another mess. I'm gonna have a lot of cleaning up to do. Let's see here. There's one more part over here. Oh yeah. These are actually the bands that hold the headlights in the buckets. And as it turns out, they're copper. I left this one in there in the jiggler for a little while, just to see if it would take off the old chrome plating, and it took off a little bit of it, but I'm probably just going to take some sandpaper to this like I did the other one. I had to make a repair to the other one. These are solid copper, just plated, but one of the bands right here, these got a little cut in them so they're flexible. One of them had broken here, so I had to again hammer out a little piece of copper pipe into about a full thickness, and I made like a little U-clip, and I soldered it on the other one. And that's currently in the house, getting a coat of copper plating over the top of that, and that'll make it a permanent bond. And then again next week, because of the holidays, shipping's kind of slow, so I won't be able to have my new anodes here for doing any nickel plating until next weekend. So I'm just going to be doing some copper plating this week and getting parts prepped for that. A lot of the steel parts, though, I'll just nickel plate directly. I've tried putting some copper plating over the steel parts, but anywhere there's a pit, of course I have to do nickel plating first. Anywhere there's a little pit, though, the nickel plating won't stick, and the copper sulfate solution just gets up under the plating layer and just causes it to rust out again. and the copper plating just peels off. So, and it takes the nickel with it. So I'm just gonna nickel plate the pitted steel parts and not bother trying to fill with copper. So yeah, that's where I'm at so far this week. Hopefully next weekend, after my new anodes have arrived, I'll be able to do a little bit more on the emblems, and maybe in my next video I'll be able to show you the process I go through of 3D printing those and getting the copper plating to stick to the plastic, or at least get copper to plate onto it. But I've got the 4 emblems made up so far. I got them all copper plated. I just have one that's waiting for the new anodes to get nickel plated, and then I can put some paint on them, backgrounds of them. Well, I'll show you the whole process. I've already made, in Tinkercad, I designed some new F20 emblems. I think I got them kind of close to what the originals would have looked like. And I'm going to take those, and those are the ones I'll probably show you the process with, getting the ABS smoothed out and coated with some copper and graphite solution and acetone to get the plating started. Ugh, got this black coal stuff all over me. Fun. So that's what I got going on. Not a whole lot else going on this week. It's really cold out, so I'm pretty much limited to working in the garage a few hours each evening. So that's it for this update. Maybe I'll have a little bit more later on this week. Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you have one of these sandblasters, if you've had a better experience with it, let me know how you did, because it's just been terrible for me so far. I'm rather new to it. It'll spray every once in a while, but it chugs. I tried hanging the whole bucket from up here from my little S hook, and figure maybe a little gravity would help. But really only wants to spray anything out when I hold it sideways, and then it's just for a little moment. I have to keep pulling and letting off of the trigger, and it just pulses. And I just can't get a continuous stream to come out of it, and it's just weak. It doesn't do much at all. Maybe it's this media I'm using, this, what is it, coal slag? Yeah. Don't know. But that thing works great. I'm going to turn it back on again tomorrow at lunchtime, and when I come out in the evening, I'll be able to take the parts out and see how they look. But so far, I mean, they come out looking nice. As far as what I do until I'm ready to finish them is I just dip them in that bucket there of, it's just soda, washing soda and water, and it'll cause them to oxidize and get these little black spots. So they're still wet with that soda and water, but they're not going to rust back. Some of these parts have been in here for about a month now, just still damp and wet, and nothing in here started to rust again. It'll just turn black. So, there's an old punch I cleaned up in that vibrator. It just works good. So a lot of these, I'm probably never going to use them, but want to try it out. I might find some use for some of those old bolts. But that's what I'm doing to keep them from rusting until I decide what I want to do with them. Either paint them or plate them or just weld them together and make sculptures. Who knows? Some of those were cut off. Some were just damaged. Some were still good. But without any plating left on them, I mean, they're just going to rust again. So maybe I'll find something cool to do from the forge. Now, the truck, while it has these strap hinges for the tailgate, it did not have any latches on that tailgate. Somebody actually held it up with bungee straps. So I'm going to have to come up with some kind of a design to make latches to put on that tailgate when I rebuild it. And so I might drag out the forge again here pretty soon and see what I got lying around I can make some hinges out of. Excuse me, not hinges, latches. I got these round bars here. Now these are really stout. They came off of they're the belt from Potato Digger. And those are pain in the neck to forge. It's just really, really, really hard metal. It's like a spring steel, and it really likes to break. You have to get really hot, and it's hard to hammer on. It's a hard steel. I got that. I got some old lawnmower blades I've flattened out for use as flat stock, so I got that to work with. So I'm gonna have to come with a little bit of a design for some latches. I don't know exactly how I'm gonna do it, but I'd like to make them at least a little bit decorative. Kind of try and make them go along with the hinges that we have here. These are big old strap hinges, so maybe do something with this type of a shape. Don't know. Maybe make some big old bolt latches. Got some here. Something like that. Just a little bit bigger and a little fancier. I don't know. Might also look up and see if I can see what kind of latches would have been used at the time. Maybe copy a design. But that's it. Thanks for watching. Until next time.